Meet Jimny, a green-colored cricket which served as Pinocchio's good conscience. It was a small, smart, and safe persona. That sounds exactly like Suzuki's design brief for its compact off-roader, and maybe hence the name. Others argue that Jimny is an acronym for Jeep Mini, pointing to its light Jeep LJ10 origins almost 50 years ago. Regardless of how it got its name, the Jimny is easily the most awaited launch of the year. In a sea of EVs and hybrids, the Jimny comes as a long awaited breath of fresh air. It's been around for half a century and it debuts its 5-door finally in India this year. Maruti pulled a smart move by extending the Jimny by a foot in length and cutting out 2 extra doors. This immediately makes it accessible to family buyers and daily drivers, in addition to the off-road niche. That's a 5-door commercial advantage that neither the BS6 Thar nor the Gurkha had at launch. Mechanically, the engine is the familiar K15B, which we have seen in older Marutis like the Brezza. It only remains alive today in the Shias. This mates to the company's staple 5-speed manual gearbox, and for the automatic version, the decision is forced to retain the old 4-speed auto. If you have driven the K15B, you'll know it's quite eager at lower revs and has a sprightly pickup. Mid-range is weak and top-end really struggles. Combine this with the All-Grip Pro all-wheel drive system, which is the most potent off-road among all the 3 All-Grip versions available with Suzuki. The Autobox has to be the 4-speed to give you that low-end grunt and keep the tiny 1.5mm boiling. The body is compact and runs on narrow tracks and boasts of great approach and departure angles. So this 5-door Jimny will also continue its robust off-road legacy without doubt. Suzuki's Jimny in India with the Maruti Nexa parentage throws a very wide sales and service net across the country, and a wide variety of buyers are going to be interested in it. Off-road, it's obviously great, but on-road, the Jimny would be fine unless they compare it with other monocoque cars of similar price point. Solid axles on back and front means that we will get good articulation, but on the flip side, it will retain the old recirculating ball type steering because of the front solid axle. So on road, the Jimny steering is also going to be dull compared to modern rack and pinions. It will not be a highway scorcher with that K15B and the 4-speed auto, but it will be a good city runabout. Again, off-road is where it shines, and mark my words, the Jimny will democratize 4-wheel driving in India and make the off-roading culture accessible more than ever before. Speaking of off-roading in India, these are the only options of purpose-built off-roaders available today. At the bottom end, we have the Desi off-roading trio, Jimny, Gurkha and Thar, and a wide gap above them, where the long wheelbase 5-door versions of the latter will slot in. Beyond this gap is exclusive Japanese territory, where the Jap pickup trucks slot in. Then comes another gap, and on the far right, premium end of the spectrum, we have the capable benchmark, that is the Jeep Wrangler. While we eagerly wait for the Jimny to hit the showrooms, all we have seen until now are skewed photos shot from weird angles, which doesn't quite tell us how big or how small the Jimny 5-door actually is. So in this video, let's size up the segment without photographic bias or perspective or any optical illusions. The Jimny by itself is a tall, narrow car. It's taller than it's wider, just like the much bigger Gurkha, which is also taller than it's wider. Only the Thar squats wider than its height, almost in a squarish aspect ratio. These differences will show up in the fundamental dynamics of these trucks, especially handling and cornering. We are lifting blueprints off the CAD drawings of these vehicles, so this is all to scale and exactly how the sizes stack up against each other. In profile, things get interesting. Gurkha is the longest, but the Thar has the longer wheelbase. Bring in the Jimny 5-door and it has the same length as the Thar, but an even longer wheelbase. The Thar 5-door would come in with a 300 increase in wheelbase, which takes the length beyond 4.2 meters. The 5-door Gurkha would come in with a massive 400 increase in its wheelbase, taking the length beyond 4.5 meters. Once we get our hands on the 5-door Jimny, we'll definitely do a proper technical off-road review against the Gurkha and the Thar. So subscribe and stay tuned. The larger size and hence larger capacity would make these long wheelbase versions better for overlanding with massive payload carrying capacity, while the smaller compact Jimny would find advantage in its agility and lesser weight, making it a nimble mountain goat off-road. Even within the segment, each of these three have uniquely different identities and specific use cases where each of them would outshine the rest. All three of them are extremely capable in their own right. And you let me know which of these beasts would you choose.